All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are on the Sith Lord episode. This is episode 4, and we are watching Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Jedi. Last episode was a little confusing for me, but we're right back on it. I'm there. I'm here. I'm aware of what's going on now. It's Count Dooku. And I'm ready to jump into this episode. So let's do it. Damn, that was fast. That sliding door shut so quickly.
Code accepted. Master Sifo-Dyas. Planet Camino. Camino archive data deleted.
What's causing all the excitement, Master Jocasta?
Your apprentice? It would seem he has encountered a Sith Lord. Or so he claimed to the Jedi High Council. Qui-Gon Jinn always had such an active imagination.
A quality valued less and less in these great halls.
What? That's not Yoda, is it?
I guess word travels fast.
Well, or statements to the council.
It's a woman.
Rather surprising.
Qui-Gon.
Master,
Oh, wow, so time has passed.
I encountered a highly skilled warrior, one obviously trained in the Jedi arts.
And you believe it was a Sith Lord?
Yes.
I've been warning them about the coming darkness for years. Never to be taken seriously.
There's no reason to cause undue alarm. The wisdom of the council is to be cautious until we know more.
The Sith Lord is not to be trifled with. And I will not be there to protect you.
Obi-Wan fills that role now. He acquits himself quite well.
I should like to meet him someday. You're always singing his praises.
It's just so weird how things can change. Relationships and all of that.
Are you all right?
They grow up so fast.
It is the way of things.
Indeed. I used to bring Qui-Gon here.
He was fascinated with this tree. Having been born here on Coruscant, a planet of steel and stone, he knew nothing like it.
Qui-Gon Jinn has become one with the Force. It is time to let him go.
And you can do this?
What choice have I?
She's just following him. What is this place? Oh no. So it's already
Gone too far, Qui-Gon Jinn.
You lost an apprentice, and so did I. All in service of our greater goals. The galaxy will not be remade without sacrifice.
Sifo-Dyas, Camino, the clones.
I have betrayed everyone and everything I know.
Wow.
Such is the price of freedom.
No.
Oh no.
This ends here.
So I have been betrayed.
No.
Oh.
Dooku, step to me. Whatever your crimes are, help me now.
You know.
That does not matter.
Remember what you told me. The Jedi blindly serve a corrupt Senate that fails the Republic it represents. You want to prove your loyalty. Kill her.
Wow.
There is still a chance to make things right.
I believe that. It's true. There always is a chance.
I'm afraid.
I know you are.
I'm afraid it is too late.
Wow. That's so crazy. Yeah, we get out of there. There's just, you need to go and report back. But I don't think she left.
I am on your side, Dooku. You were right about so many things. The council should have listened.
No, so he kept bringing up stuff to the council. Wow. That stupid laugh of his. Yeah, get into your ship.
It is you who has run Dooku into the arms of evil.
And she should have left. Oh my god, no way. That's horrific. Oh my gosh.
You have done well, my apprentice.
Wow.
Master.
Oh wow, really? I like how the light is hurting him.
I want only to bring peace and order to the galaxy.
By murder and murder
Already so many have
and
suffered
murder.
for what you call order.
Right. Or peace.
Let me give you peace, Master Yaddle.
Man. Wow. Is that Anakin? Like a really, oh my god, baby Anakin. Ahsoka. Hello. Wow.
Right on time.
Kenobi.
Oh, really?
He looks good.
She's a fast learner.
I really wouldn't know.
No, she looks like a little baby. Wow. She's always been awesome.
Impressive.
There's no way Anakin is jealous. That'd be silly.
Thanks for coming, Master.
Okay,
Well,
they're
that
mad.
was in
Okay,
the
never
area.
mind. He's not jealous. Just
Any thoughts?
You don't want to know.
why?
It's a lousy test.
But it's what every Jedi does.
Exactly. I'll make you an actual test, and then we'll see what you really learned.
No.
Captain Rex and the boys have agreed to help with the test.
It's our privilege, Commander.
It's so cool to see everybody.
Droids are predictable. I want you to be prepared for anything. Feel the intention of the trooper who will fire first. You should be able to sense the moment before they even pull the trigger. Begin.
Oh, ouch. I'm just like thinking like she's like 12 or 11. This is the training. It's good training. It's just funny because she's so young.
How long was I out?
Crazy.
An hour.
An hour?
Yeah, Jesse really tagged you.
Dang. I mean, this is a part of why she became so amazing is because of Anakin, his training.
Begin.
Wow. Now she's going to be out for 10 hours.
Let's go again.
Wow.
Again.
I mean, he was right though. This is more realistic of what would happen in a real fight.
I don't know how much blood this she can take. She'll be fine.
She should. I mean, you guys need to take a break. Come back tomorrow.
This is ridiculous. The droids aren't half as good as Rex's men.
Look, I know this is tough, but I want it to be difficult. This is about life and death. As your master, I'm responsible for you. The best way I can protect you is to teach you how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
You ready?
Anakin always was going to be a good father. This is, I mean, he's a good parent.
Not bad. It took us 5 minutes to knock you out that time.
It's just really cool to see the backstory. Anakin had her training like this for years. Damn.
Let's hope all that training pays off.
Whoa.
Hang on, we have Tano in the command. Send all remaining troops to my position.
Hmm. Oh my gosh, okay. Cool to know that Ahsoka was always there.
You shouldn't have come here. There's nothing you could have done for either of them.
Yeah, how does she feel?
She was my friend.
You must leave. Where is your ship?
The river.
Here. If you need anything, you can contact me with this.
I'm tired of fighting.
You there?
Oh, and she's gone.
I'm afraid no one's allowed back here, Senator.
It's easy to get lost with all that has happened. Still, we have a duty, don't we? An obligation to uphold. When we're able. And if you should ever need anything, please contact me.
Like, what? Whoa. Cool. Is that Rex? Oh, Rex is still with her. Aww. I love that. I love that. She's at least not alone.
You just leave me to it. This is my payload, not yours.
We're gonna break for lunch.
Oh.
You can't leave it like that.
I'm hungry.
It's gonna fall on her. Then Ahsoka's gonna have to use the Force. Or not. Or yeah, she did. Wow. No.
Ashley, come sit with us.
Just Ashley? Is that what she's saying her name is?
Please?
Yeah, why are you all alone? I mean, I would do the same too.
No one can keep up with the Imperial quotas.
In the beginning, you all welcomed the Empire. Emperor Palpatine brought peace.
Wow.
Through persecution.
Mm-hmm.
Only rebels who threaten the Empire.
No one is safe.
Only if you aren't loyal.
Ugh, this mentality. Oh god, don't let him find out you're a Jedi. Oh my god.
Don't forget, we have to take the harvest over to Mon Hela tomorrow.
That path can be dangerous. Is your brother coming along?
No, but we'll be fine, won't we? Master Jedi.
You shouldn't say such things.
I saw you push the bales clear of me.
Yeah, but still.
Why didn't you tell us?
There's nothing to tell.
Because of people like your brother.
Don't worry. It's our secret. I'll meet you near the field. At first light.
Oh no. So yeah, and so he heard. Great. Even though she saved his sister's life, she's a Jedi, so she's evil.
See you tomorrow. May the Force be with you.
Wow.
Prices were so low, they're bleeding us dry. I couldn't get half what they offered us last season.
Whoa. No.
You claim a Jedi was here, and yet I find no one.
Wow.
I turned her in. I should be rewarded.
You lie to me and expect Imperial favor?
He's not lying.
She's the Jedi.
Stop it!
See? I told you they'd be back.
Man, he's really not smart, is he?
Here is your reward.
Wow. I like that the episode is called Resolve. Whoa. To have that resolve, even though he turned her in, still protecting him. Ahsoka is just so amazing.
Looks like I shall be rewarded.
Wow. Wow. Easy work.
Look what you did.
Yeah.
Look what you did.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
More will come. You're going to have to leave.
How?
Oh, cool.
Please, this way.
So they killed the whole village. That's crazy.
Things have only gotten worse. Are you sure you're ready to get back into the fight?
So awesome. That is so awesome. That I'm trying to wrap my mind around this because I have a lot to say maybe about the last part, just where Ahsoka is. I'm trying to be really careful with what I'm saying because there's some things that I'm going to relate to my personal life and how it relates to this, and then also to real life stuff that has happened and is sort of going on now. But I want to make sure anyways, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. So in the, God, how do I even explain? Okay, with what's going on, with what happened after the Empire, the Palpatine takes over, he changes everything. Darth Vader is now risen. The Jedi are being wiped out. And then there's obviously the ones in hiding, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, certain other Jedi. But if they're found, they're killed. They're not supposed to be alive. And people like the brother in this episode thinks somehow they're like the good guys. They're above the Jedi somehow. And that the Empire will not hurt them. But he's young, so he doesn't really understand or get the whole thing. The older person, probably because of being around longer and having more history, and he grew up in a time which was maybe hard, or had heard stories of great grandparents who lived through a hard time. So he knows the fickleness of freedom and humanity and how dark it can get. So he understood the dire situation that they're in, whereas the young kid doesn't know. And it reminds me of today mixed in with what happened in the past. So when I watch the Star Wars, I'm always reminded of Nazi Germany. That is always the thought process in my head. And when a certain group of people are targeted to be killed and wiped out, that it's really kind of in your face. I know that, and I could be wrong on this, that George Lucas felt when he wrote this, or not, when he made the movies, he was thinking about America being the empire, and maybe it was Vietnam or other countries that were, subject to America's wars, basically. But I think it still is, there's this connection to the Jewish people, and that it's so, and I'll explain why I maybe see this so clearly, and then I'll get to how awesome Ahsoka is. Okay, so the way I grew up was very religious, extremely religious, and a part of my upbringing is a Seventh-day Adventist. And so I'm not going to speak for all Seventh-day Adventists because everyone is different. There are people who probably do not have the same perspective as I do, or as maybe my family who grew up this way. Now, and I will say I have changed and have been trying to change my perspective for the last few years. I don't consider myself any sect of any religion at all, but I do believe maybe in some sort of higher power, but but I'm still figuring that out. But for about 20 plus years of my life, I believed this was the truth. And Seventh-day Adventists are very similar to Jewish people in that we keep the Sabbath, the Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. The only thing is we believe in Jesus is the Savior and the Son of God. So there's like some differences, but there's maybe dietary restrictions that are similar and a lot of other things that are very similar. But growing up, I was always told there would be some sort of Holocaust again, and it would be towards Sabbath keepers, which are obviously Jewish people and anybody who keeps the Sabbath. And we happen to be a part of a Christian sect that keeps the Sabbath. A lot of Christian sects go to church on Sunday, whereas we go to church on Saturdays. So growing up, I was told these certain things are going to happen, and maybe there was many times where I just maybe overheard the adults talking about stuff that they were, these conspiracies and different things. Now, I don't want to say that they're all conspiracies because, you never know what happens in the world. I don't know if it's specific to Sabbath keepers, but obviously anybody, we can see, now there's certain wars going on right now where you don't have to be a Sabbath keeper to be targeted. You can be any religion, it is what it is. People all over the world are going to have, there's genocides, there's racism, there's sexism, there is not liking a person's religious beliefs and killing them because of that, or putting them in camps. This has been going on. It doesn't matter if what religion you believe in. Like, this just happens to people throughout history. But because I was told this over and over, and also the fact, Jesus is going to come back at the end of the world, that's always been in the back of my mind. So when I just have this constantly in the back of my mind, like the thought of seeing stuff like this, images like this was stuff that I imagined would happen because it was told. Like, because you keep the Sabbath, one day you're going to be targeted and you're going to be taken and maybe put into camps. Like this was, so I don't know how it was for other Seventh-day Adventists, but that's how I grew up. And I staunchly believed that, and it terrified me because I didn't know. And then also I had read a lot of books about the Holocaust and about people who suffered through, and also the I don't know what time in history this was, but there was a point in history where the Christians were rounded up and were put in like colosseums, like the Roman colosseums. I don't think it was just Christians, but a lot of Christians were taken and burnt at the stake or killed by lions and animals and stuff like that. And you get, if you have any information on that, you can add or take away what I'm saying. But I grew up with this in the back of my mind, like all the time. And then I would like, okay, well, let's go get pizza. Let's order Domino's. Let's go to McDonald's now. It's a jarring to like, you can't, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, now I put on Scooby-Doo and watched Scooby-Doo. And, this is like this thing of like, well, this is weird. This is crazy. So what I know from that, living like that, is I have such a vivid imagination that I have created scenarios of, well, what if this certain thing happens? Or what if this happened? What would I do? So for me, when I watch something like this, I'm just like, yeah, I know. Like, I know. I this could happen. This has happened throughout history. And I think there's a lot, so I can maybe relate to, even though I've never been through anything like that. And that's what's even weirder and crazier is I've never been through it. I've never been, neither has my family, been in like a place where people are pointing and like, get them, they're this color, so kill them, or they're this religion, so kill them. But it's, there's things that happen, obviously, like stuff that you can't get out of this world unscathed. You're going to get hurt somehow. There is racism. There is things that I have been through throughout my life, but it's still not to this extent that I was told was going to happen. And so in Sadland, this is why I was like, how do I say this without, because I'm going to get judgment either way. I have worked this out personally on my own for a long time because I'm a thinker. So I think deeply and I dissect. I'm always dissecting things and figuring out, and like, I like this, and I'll keep this, or I don't like this, I'm going to throw this away. And I've always been that way since I was a kid. So it's just more in depth into my own like psyche. So I'm really aware of a lot of stuff. But when I see something like this, it just makes me feel like, yeah, this would be a horrific time to live. And I think the young kid in here who's never seen this, he probably never grew up like this. And it makes me think of like, I grew up with a lot of different people who were not Christians. Even like boyfriends, all of my boyfriends, everybody I dated was atheist. I've never dated someone who was religious at all. And I'm friends and dated people who are not of any religious background. I have friends who are Seventh Adventists. I have friends who are Muslim or Hindu. Like there's all Buddhists, and so I can only imagine that they probably never experienced the things that I experienced growing up, like the stuff that I was told. And so it's like we're growing up at the same time, but we have like a completely different perspective. So what I'm trying to say in a long-winded way is that for me, this type of, like, if something like this ever occurred, where people of any, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, you whatever, like a bubble or thing you are in, because everyone is like in their own little thing. Maybe it's a specific race or a specific country you're from. I mean, with COVID, if you were Asian, a lot of people were attacking Asian people, and that was a big thing. So these things do happen. You get targeted. And so I'm so well aware that this can happen because I've done so much research on, which is, when I say research, I mean reading on atrocities because it was something I was well aware of. And so I think to try not to make myself so scared, I read a lot about stuff that's happened in history. So it just makes me, it's sometimes it feels quite lonely, because when no, these things can happen even in a place like America, even in a place in like the Western world where we think, oh, we're so advanced and we're so progressive and we're in 2024, this could never happen. Anything can happen. But it's always like it's slow. It's never quick. It's like the same thing when I watched Band of Brothers, when I brought up like the frog in the pot. It doesn't know it's boiling. It starts out cold, then lukewarm, then warm and really comfortable. And then all of a sudden it's way too hot. By that time, you can't jump out of the pot. So it's, I think that in any case, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law, I'm aware that this is just life. But I think I just have, because I have that little special, so this is not special because it torments me, like something that's not, like it's tough. Like it's hard. It's like really hard to live that way. But because of that though, I'm much more aware of potential suffering that people can go through. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that. And then a lot of people can't. and they would be like, this could never happen to us. So I guess I'm just saying, like, when I watch stuff like this, it triggers certain things in me, which is why sometimes it's hard to just sort of get into series, I think, especially like in the last couple of years for me. So I'm saying all of this to just say that it's just interesting. It's interesting to see this and to see certain things that are going on in the world right now, and to feel like, anything could happen. This is maybe for some people really entertaining, and they're so far removed. A lot of people who are watching this right now are so far removed from it, they're just like, this is really cool. But because of the traumatic stuff that I grew up in, it's like, yeah, it's hard to explain it. I don't know how else to explain it rather than if I like stuck something in my brain and you guys were able to like actually see. But that's kind of the best way I can explain it. So when I watch something like this, it does kind of trigger something. And it makes me then now think, now going into Ahsoka to see now this. So this is why I brought that up, because I do think to this day, I'll have thoughts where I'm like, well, what if you're in a situation like this? What if you're living day to day? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. I mean, this could even be like you're homeless living on the streets and you don't know. Like, it's today the day you're going to be attacked or killed or get hurt or assaulted, or are you going to have enough food? Are that's like that's also like a part of that. Like but it's the being in the tough place. I've thought about this. If I'm in any tough situation, like a natural disaster, a famine, we're so close to potential nuclear war. If there was anything like that, and then of course now I'm starting to watch Fallout, which is like another like crazy thing, but what if these things happen? What do we do? Like, I guess I've thought I'm just that type of brain. It's kind of neurotic, who thinks like, what do we do if this happens? And I feel a great pang of fear in my heart. But to see Ahsoka with her resolve in this episode, she lost her best friend, her father figure, Anakin. Padme was her best friend. Everything she knew went crashing down around her. Rex and all of her friends, the clone troopers, turned on her and her fellow Jedi. The one person that she thought like was like on their side, the Chancellor, was not. So their whole world turned upside down. And people could see it slowly happening. Like, she got out before anything really went down. I mean, yeah, it kind of did. It did go down with her in it, but not where I don't think she could ever have predicted that. But to see that she's now working in the fields, just trying to get by. We don't know where Rex is at this point, but the resolve she continues to have, that's something that I've thought of since I was probably like a tween. If I was ever in a situation like that, in a war, in anything, like, how do I go on if I survived? How do you go on when you've lost everybody? How do you make sense of it? So to see that she's alone, she's in an uncertain place. She doesn't know if she'll be killed, she'll be sold out. She has to go by a fake name. And that's what's like crazy to me, is that people have lived this before. People in hiding. People can't really say who they really are. This is not new. This has happened. And so it is like powerful for me to watch this. I'm watching this with like many views, perspectives, many layers, and it hits hard because I know people have lived this, or grandparents have lived this, great grandparents. Yeah, I think of a lot of different things like that. So just to see her training still works years and years and years later, she's still this special being, and she still will fight, even though it feels like at this point, where do we go? I mean, those words, like, it's only getting worse from here. While it already was for her, it's how much worse can it get? Like, she lost everybody, but she's not giving up. And I think that's like this really cool thing. I think just seeing a character like that, I'm like, where do you go in your mind? What kind of training do you do? Obviously, they showed snippets of that with Anakin. Seems like that's the only way to kind of get through something so mentally taxing and physically taxing, to really go through it with someone who you trust and who trusts in your ability to know, like, you can survive this. This is nothing compared to what could be. And so it's just this really powerful thing for me to watch Ahsoka and see that. And especially with all the stuff that I just shared with you guys, that perspective. And it's just like, wow, that's so crazy to keep going, and you don't even know. And that, I guess that's life. And Star Wars is really good. The story of Star Wars is just so good at showing such darkness, despair, the stuff with Dooku and Palpatine, and I think her name was Yaddle. Just seeing that, I mean, there's like, come on, there's some hope. You can do the right thing. And some people are not going to do it. They're just going to think it's too late, or they see, for some reason, they're seeing some bigger picture. Like they could get to that bigger picture. But the way that my brain is set up is the same. It's like, you can't achieve peace through persecution. So like that older man in this episode was like, you can't, like, they did it the wrong way. You can't, it just doesn't make sense. You cannot want peace. You can want peace, but you can't expect to have peace or a true peace if you are killing people to get to that peace or that freedom. It's I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's tough. It's heavy. It's heavy because I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer on that. Because obviously some wars had to be fought to have freedom, but it's still like I don't know. It makes me think deeply, though. It makes me feel deeply on this. And I just don't understand how good this show is. Like, how Dave Filoni, I guess, like George Lucas. It's so good. It's so good. This was an awesome, very short snippet of what happened with Dooku, Kenobi, Ahsoka. I really appreciated this. I'm very, very ready to get into the Bad Batch and continue on the Star Wars journey. And thank you for listening. If you stuck around until this point, and if you've had a similar upbringing, let me know. I think a lot of people have, and it tweaks your brain a bit, and it takes a lot of healing and a lot of time for healing. And in some ways, I'm sure, like, my upbringing, like, I think I used to, for a while, especially when I started to, like, wake up a bit, I resented it. I hated it. But I know that things happen for a reason. And there's probably there's good to it, because now I can see some things that maybe some other people can't see because they didn't grow up that way. And I can have maybe some sympathy or empathy towards certain situations. And it it's no one, and to say like the people who I grew up, my family and everyone, I'm not to villainize them. They really believed that they were doing the right things, and that's something that as I've gotten older and figured out, and they're human too. They were just trying to do their best with the information that they had. They were just trying to protect. That's it. It just sucks that it turned out the way it turned out. That's so I just want to at least throw that out there it's not villainizing anybody. Cuz there is love there. So anyways, thank you for watching with me, and I will see you guys in the Bad Batch. See you guys later. Bye everybody.